Hello and welcome to this video, Getting Started with Reusing Every1 Learning Materials. My name is Beck Pitt from the Every1 project. Thanks so much for your interest in the Every1 project and our learning materials. We hope you're finding our work useful and interesting. This is the first in a series of videos which will help support your use of Every1 learning materials. What we're going to talk about today is why and how Every1 learning materials can be reused and localized. We're also going to take a look at some ideas and examples of reuse. To support your needs better, we've made our project learning materials as flexible and reusable as possible. What does this mean? It means that Every1 learning materials enable you to retain, keep a copy of the resource, reuse in different ways, revise, make changes to the resource, remix, to combine the resource with other existing or new material, and redistribute or share the material with others. So how do you know that you have the permission to retain, reuse, revise, remix, and redistribute? We've applied a special type of license to our learning resources to enable you to have these permissions. These are known as Creative Commons licenses, and we've applied one of the 6 Creative Commons licenses to our Every1 learning materials, and I'll introduce you to those in a moment. In the meantime, you can find out more about Creative Commons licenses on the QR code below. So let's put Creative Commons licenses in context. Usually, when we find a resource, quite often we'll need to approach the copyright owner to ask permission for reuse. So these are often called all rights reserved materials. Creative Commons licenses work with copyright. And as indicated a moment ago, reuse is permitted without needing to ask permission under the specifications shared in the license. So as I mentioned, there are 6 different types of Creative Commons licenses, and they all give you permission to do different things with the resource that the license is applied to. So we'll take a look at those in a moment. And you can also see here on the right-hand side, materials that are available, no rights reserved, and these are in the public domain. So here we have our 6 Creative Commons licenses, and we've applied a CC BY share alike license to our Every1 learning materials. We're going to come back and talk a bit more in detail about the 6 Creative Commons licenses in a future video. But for the moment, just want to highlight here that Every1 learning materials have a CC BY share alike license applied to them. So what does this mean? It means all you need to do if you're using the resource without making any changes to it or combining it with any other materials is to attribute. And if you've made changes to the resource, you need to share the resource back on the same license as the original. So this is the share alike element. You may have already seen some examples of attribution statements on Every1 learning materials. For example, this is from our Why Digitalize Energy, Digital's Energy Essentials course. It has a statement here clearly saying that this was created by the Every1 project and is licensed CC BY share alike unless otherwise stated. And the less otherwise stated covers the additional materials that might be within the learning material, for example, images. You might also find examples in the Every1 project learning materials where a learning material has been created from existing openly licensed resources. And we'll tell you a bit more about those in a future video. Another example here is from one of our videos, and you've also probably seen a similar statement at the start of this video, where you can see very clearly in the opening slide, there is a statement saying that the video was created as part of the project and is licensed CC BY Share Alike 4.0. So, all Every1 learning materials make use of Creative Commons licenses, and they are also open educational resources through their use of the CC BY Share Alike license type. And this is because, as you can see here in red, and this is a definition from UNESCO, this type of open material means anyone can legally and freely copy, use, adapt, and reshare them. Every1 learning materials come in a range of different formats here. You can see open educational resources cover everything from curricula to lecture notes, projects, tests, assignments, and animations. And similarly, Every1 learning resources come in all different types. We have everything from case studies to games to videos like this one to online courses. So the open educational resources are, as we saw earlier, these 5 kind of rights or permissions. The right to retain, reuse, revise, remix, and redistribute. So why might we be releasing our resources on an open license? We've collaborated with and listened to lots of different organizations to help create these learning materials. However, so we can better support you in your work, Every1 learning materials are open educational resources so that you can save time. There's no need to reinvent the wheel, as it says here, with open educational resources. They've been quality checked, both internally by colleagues on the project, but also through external review with our collaborators as part of our work. They're also developed to provide new resources where there's currently may not be anything on that topic through our review of existing openly licensed resources that you may find in our catalogue. You also don't have to wait to get permission to reuse the resource, as this has already been granted. We also know that the energy digitalization landscape is rapidly changing, so our learning materials may need updating in the future. You may also want to localize our resources, so include examples specific to your own context or more relevant to your own context. You might want to present them differently for your colleagues or client. You might want to expand certain sections of the learning resources, put them together differently, or create linkages between separate learning resources. You might want to add more images into the resource, take them away, change the resource in other ways, or create it in a different format. You might also want to translate it into another language. So Every1 learning materials give clear guidance and permission for reuse through the use of Creative Commons licenses, more specifically through the application of a CC BY Share Alike 4.0 license. This enables you to adapt our learning resources for your context without needing to approach us and ask for permission to do so, as we've already given you permission through the use of this license. And then finally, Every1 learning materials are flexible, so they can be updated, translated, and modified for you and your context. In our next video, we'll be taking a closer look at Creative Commons licenses and what you need to do if you want to reuse an Every1 learning material. In future videos, we'll also be giving practical advice on and tips on reusing Every1 learning materials. And then finally, we'll be sharing some walkthroughs of how to adapt different Every1 learning materials for your needs. You can find out more about the Every1 project through this QR code here. Thanks so much for watching.